Shalom, call like Yahba Shem Yahushua. Shalom to the left. I've been looking at the news and checking out these different little videos that they got people making about the UFOs, the UAPs. And this one in particular, you got the guy on this channel right here. He always be posting different little videos. He wasn't the first one, then he started back all of a sudden. But he actually mentioned about how they trying to debunk what's being shown in these clips. But you actually got people that actually catch footage. Some of the main places actually is out in California, Texas area, New Mexico, Ohio, Florida area, where people actually see this stuff. South America as well. They actually see with their own eyes. But before I let this video play, someone will pull this one precept and I'll let it play. It's in the book of Revelation, chapter 1. Let's see where I want to go. Yep, chapter 1, verse 7. It says, "Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him." So even with them trying to debunk this now, trying to say, oh, maybe the government, lying. And normally when they put stuff on mainstream, they be lying about stuff, which they do. They put a lot of stuff in the media. They actually be lying about it, but they still have some truth to it. Because in order for them to tell a lie, they got to know the truth. But anyway, it says, "Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so of mine." Now, they can debunk and do all this other stuff with these videos. They can use Project Bluebeam to make fake stuff. But when the real stuff comes, every eye shall see him. You're going to see the angels. You're going to see all the different glorious chariots. Ain't going to be no debunking none of that shit. Now, let me get this other precepts in the book of Acts. Then another thing, I was talking to one of my family members about this. Another thing is all that green alien, gray alien, reptilian bullshit. That's gonna go out the window too when people actually see the angels, because they actually look like men. They don't look like no green reptiles and shit. It's in the book of Acts, chapter 1. I'm sorry, verse 9. It says, "And we have spoken these things." And I'm gonna actually build on this book of Acts and see what the Spirit lead me at too, because I've been meditating on this real heavy. Like all these different signs and wonders and these miracles and all this stuff, it's gonna happen again on a higher level. And people gonna know. There ain't gonna be no hiding or denying none of that stuff then. But like I said, that's another topic for another video. I'm gonna get to the main point. Now verse 9 it says, "And we have spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up, and the cloud received him out of their sight." Now I ain't talking about no Nimbus cloud like on Dragon Ball Z or no shit like that. It's talking about a chariot. That's just another name that they would call it. Because sometimes you ever look up in the sky during the daytime, you might see a cloud. It's actually shaped like a huge ship. And the chariots actually cloak themselves in the cloud. Or sometimes you might just see it poking out just a little bit if you're actually paying attention, if you meant to see that. Because everybody not meant to see it like that right now. When you read the stories about when the tribes left from out of Egypt, following behind Moses and Aaron, what was leading them? A cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. And that's talking about the ship. And we're talking about just ain't no fire floating up in there. It's talking about an actual ship. That says he was taken up, and the cloud received him out of their sight, while they looked steadfastly toward heaven. As he went up, behold, 2 men stood by him in white apparel, which also said, "You men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up to heaven? The same Yahushua, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven." So that's why in the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 7, it say he's gonna come with clouds. And go back to it and say, "Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him," which means those people that pierced him back then, they reincarnated in these times now, and they gonna see him. Alright, I'm gonna let this video play, and I'll bring out some more presales. This is another video I got queued up too as well.
Many strange stories on 60 Minutes, but perhaps none like this. It's the story of the U.S. government's grudging acknowledgement of unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, more commonly known as UFOs.
Finally, the government has acknowledged the existence of UFOs, which coincided with the release of this footage of a UFO, which I think you'll agree blows away completely all the previously declassified and leaked UFO footage. It clearly depicts a craft with no control surfaces, which is hovering and slowly descending. There are no signs of propulsion on this craft, yet it defies gravity whilst emitting this strange aura, which has been widely speculated by experts to be some sort of anti-gravity drive. It was capable of hypersonic speeds observed by hundreds of witnesses, none of whom could explain what they saw because it was jamming their radar. This is it, people. These things are real. The evidence is overwhelming. Okay, I've got to admit, I was being a little tongue-in-cheek there. This is actually from some guy on YouTube who, I've got to say, has some pretty awesome infrared video of a military plane. This one is an F-18 in the infrared. The point to be made pretty clearly at this point. Things in the infrared don't necessarily look like they do in visible light.
You see the deception that ESO tried to put up? And now they're going to make people question, well, damn, maybe I ain't really seeing no ship. Maybe I'm just seeing a F-8 jet or some type of other military craft or something like that. But people have been seeing it, man. But like the scripture say, every eye shall see it. They gonna really see it. You ain't gonna need no damn infrared or no TV or none of that.
And yeah, links below to this guy, because he really does have some very impressive footage. But yeah, this video of an F-18 coming into land absolutely blows out of the water the leaked videos of UFOs in just how much anti-gravity it emits whilst it's hovering.
Okay, so as you just saw, it took Thunderfoot 5 minutes to visit another YouTube channel that posts many videos of objects like planes and birds and jets that have been captured in infrared or heat signature technology, and how when you take a simple jet plane landing and switch the camera over to heat-seeking or infrared, it turns into what looks like a hovering flying saucer with no propulsion and some sort of weird gravitational plasma field circling around it. And again, you guys are free to go over and watch his entire video and come back here and put down in the comments what you think. But I absolutely do think that at least some of these new Pentagon clips are simple airplanes out of focus, and that when...
And you know, like I said, in order for a person to tell a lie, they gotta know the truth. So they know the truth. They've been to the truth. Just like he had the one speech. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Until I fight it. Let's see if I can find it real quick. I want to say it was Ronald Reagan, if I ain't mistaken. See if this one, give me a minute, let me make sure.
I couldn't help at one point in our discussions privately with General Secretary Gorbachev, when you stop to think that we're all God's children, wherever we may live in the world, I couldn't help but say to him, just think how easy his task and mine might be in these meetings that we held if suddenly there was a threat to this world from some other species, from another planet, outside in the universe. We'd forget all the little local differences that we have between our countries, and we would find out once and for all that we really are all human beings.
But see, that's Esau with they bullshit. Esau don't really feel like that. They gonna do that because of fear. This is the exact video I was looking for. I'm glad they broke it down. Let me find this real quick. Give me 1 minute. That's straight out of scriptures, man. This was years ago, so they been about this. What exact year this come from? Let me look at it. Let's see. Had to be sometime. I said the speeches were given in 1985, 87, and then 88. So this was way back then, man. They been about this shit. This ain't nothing new. They spend hella money on this. Them top elites, them top Edomites, see the low-level Edomites, they don't really have a clue for real. But the top level ones that want to be monitoring these videos and all that shit, monitor certain Akim and all that, they know this gonna happen. What he says, let's run that back one more time. What Mr. Reagan said about this?
Local differences that we have between our countries, and we would find out once and for all that we really are all human beings here on this earth together. As his task and mine might be in these meetings that we held, if suddenly there was a threat to this world.
And what threat will be to this world? It says, behold, back in Revelation, I'll keep going back to it. It says, behold, he comes with clouds, and every eye shall see him. And they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. And the reason why his kindred is going to wail, because they had a hand in delivering him up to take him but give us Barabbas. They going to wail, because they going to remember, like, damn, this whole time we've been talking shit, talking about, oh, you ain't got to mention Yahweh Shah or whatever. They gonna wail. Those are the same ones as back then. The same ones as back now. Come in this place.
From some other species, from another planet, outside in the universe. We'd forget all the little local differences that we have between our countries, and we would find out once and for all that we really are all human beings here on this earth together. Well, I don't suppose we can wait for some alien race to come down and
See, that's why they got the Space Force.
threaten us. But I think that between us, we can bring about that realization.
All right, let me pause there real quick. That's enough on that. All right, go back to what I was going to go to. This is in the book of 2nd Ezra, in chapter 13, and we start in verse 3. It says, and I beheld, and lo, that man went strong with thousands of heaven. Thousands of heaven, man. Ain't no Space Force had to do nothing to that. It's funny as fuck, just think about it. It says, when he turned his countenance to look. And he ain't, see, it was so raw about it. The Most High ain't even got to send Yahweh Shah back with all them angels. He's just doing it just a show of force, so they don't know who really running shit. Now it says, when he turned his countenance to look, all the things showed, was seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth filleth when it filleth fire. After this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the men that came out of the sea. And that sea is talking about from outer space, like he mentioned, the universe. It says, but I beheld, and lo, he created himself a great mountain and flew upon it. But I would have seen a region or place whereout the hill was graven, I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him was so afraid. That's why they're going to link up Russia, China, Iran. What's the other places? Libya, Saudi Arabia, India, Lebanon, Syria, Australia, Europe, Great Britain. They gonna link up. Yeah, I may be missing a few major key players in this stuff too. But they're gonna link up. They're gonna be scared that they're gonna see this. What's really gonna scare them even more, like the one guy that was doing the interview in the video, the lady was like, "What color were these beings getting out the ship? Were they dark?" He was like, "No, they were black. They were black, very black." That's what's gonna scare their ass. They see some black beings flying by them ships, and one leading the charge, looking real mighty. He ain't coming back to, ain't no peace treaties, ain't no, oh, let's work this out shit. Ain't none of that going on. Now it says, after this, I beheld, and lo, all day, which gathered together to subdue him, was so afraid, and yet durst fight. They gonna fight. That's what he said in this speech right here. Put our differences to the side. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. And that's wrong. He ain't even gotta have no weapon. Because like in the book of Ezekiel, it says the spirit basically was in a vehicle, so he wanted that vehicle to shoot out a laser, a beam or whatever. You ain't gotta lift up your hand and nothing. It's gonna do what it do. It says in verse 10, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempest. And what happened to this multitude? What happened to the multitude? Let's get into that. Now it says, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up, every one. So hey, anybody in that Space Force and all that shit, you gotta get your ass out of there. Because that's the last place you want to be when Yahushua come back with the angels. With Michael and Gabriel and Uriel, Raphael, so on and so on. It says, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. And when I saw this, I was afraid. And this was the visions that Ezra was having. The Uriel was actually guiding him to see, so to speak. When you read the book of Ezra, you know what I'm talking about. Oh, if you have read the book of Ezra, you know what I'm talking about when he went on this fast and was only eating stuff of the field and wasn't eating no flesh or nothing like that. Let's see, let me go to this other video. Then I'll end this off.
There's a new trend in the American media right now, one that I actually approve of for a change. And that trend is UFOs and aliens. Yeah, that's right. The American mainstream media is no longer just casually mentioning whack jobs out in the sticks, thinking they've been abducted, trying to make them look like crazy people. Now, they are actually covering UFO sightings and the possibility of alien visitation very seriously. And it's about time, if you ask me. NBC News recently did a story entitled, "The U.S. Military Takes UFOs Seriously. Why doesn't Silicon Valley or academia?" The whole point of the article was trying to get people to take the subject more seriously. 60 Minutes just ran a report on UFOs. CBS News, ABC, Newsweek, all of them, Fox, every single one of our major media news outlets are currently talking about UFOs and taking them seriously. And it's not because they've all gone crazy, no. It's for a very specific reason, and it is this. The Pentagon's report on everything our intelligence agencies know about UFOs is due in June, as in the next coming weeks. All of the sightings made by our military, any evidence we have at all about things we cannot explain, it is all due to come out thanks to a mandate made by Congress back in December of 2020. Our military has already started to confirm a lot of sightings to warm us up, and the media has been taking the bait, lapping it up, and it looks like there's a good chance we might actually learn some very crazy things very soon.
See, it's crazy because people, they won't listen to a person of my caliber, other Akim, other apostles and elders and all this different stuff, giving you the information that you've been seeking, that you listen to these fucking devils when they bring this stuff out. And I should say, lapping it up, sopping it up. Well, what you said, make sure I hear that correctly.
Back in December of 2020. Our military has things we cannot explain. Our intelligence agencies know about UFOs is due in June, as in the next coming weeks. All of the sightings made by our military, any evidence we have at all about things we cannot explain, it is all due to come out thanks to a mandate made by Congress back in December of 2020. Minutes just ran a report on UFOs. CBS News, ABC, Newsweek, all of them, Fox, every single one of our major media news outlets are currently talking about UFOs and taking them seriously. And it's not because they've all gone crazy, no. It's for a very specific reason, and it is this. The Pentagon's report on everything our intelligence agencies know about UFOs is due in June, as in the next coming weeks. All of the sightings made by our military, any evidence we have at all about things we cannot explain, it is all due to come out thanks to a mandate made by Congress back in December of 2020. Our military has already started to confirm a lot of sightings to warm us up, and the media has been taking the bait, lapping it up.
Yeah, hey, and that's how people be, man. I go sit down with 1,000 people and break all this stuff down. I guarantee you, majority of them, they're not gonna really want to hear it or believe it. But you let Esau red ass get on the news and tell you something real, they're gonna be lapping it up. let me get this precept right here. Better yet, before I get this one, you know what? I'm gonna just let it flow. I'm gonna try to do no extra shit. Now, it's in the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 14. It says, let's see, I want to go on 14. Yep, it says, and the gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. Then shall the end come. And this word done went out all over the place, so you can't be like, oh, I ain't never heard about this type of stuff, or I ain't never heard nobody speaking on this. Nobody never told me about the chariots. Nobody never told me that the Lord's real name was Yahushua. The reason why they was trying to kill Peter and Paul and John and all them the other apostles back then, because what name they was using. They was telling them to not even speak on that name. You know, there's a reason for that. Just like now, you have people be like, oh, don't say that name. It's the Most High only. Yeah, the Most High, he do run everything. But it's a chain of command. He at the top, and everything else follows. But you gotta be simple-minded and not understand that, though. Let me go to this other precept, and I'll end this up. So knowing this information is pleasing to your soul, but it's spooky at the same time. Because you know, I can't really say, hey, I know when Yahushua come in, he gonna beat me up on one of them ships. I could just have faith and do what I'm supposed to do as a man, and try to be on that good side. Because when he come back, hey, there's gonna be a lot of shit going on. There's like war breaking out, famine, pestilence. Esau gonna be running wild. The RFID chip gonna be implemented. The camp's gonna be open, all type of shit, man. But don't nobody really want to hear that, though. Nobody want to hear the ugly. They just want to hear the good, and that's why I'm gonna end this out with this precept right here. This is in the book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 10. It says, okay, but you know what? I'm gonna start at verse 9 and read on that. I get the full spectrum of it. It says that this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord, will say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not, and to us right things, speaking to us smooth things, prophesy deceits. Nobody want to hear what's right for real. I'm going to say nobody. Majority of people don't really want to hear what's right. They want to hear those smooth things, deceits, getting over, finessing motherfuckers, scamming, scheming. Everything gonna be good all the time. And that's not real. So I just want to bring this up, man. I don't want to run this out. It's edifying. And you stay alert. Shalom to the alert.